If you keep waiting for the right time to do it, it's never going to get done. Do it now. The time is now. Not next week, not next month, now. See, because you keep telling yourself, when I get a new phone, when I move, when I get a better backdrop. But why are you waiting? What is waiting until then instead of doing it now going to change? And see, I'm asking you these questions to help you realize that when you say these things to yourself, you're lying to yourself. And it may be due to a trauma in the past where you don't believe that you can succeed when you do it. Maybe you're fearful of putting yourself out there and putting your face in the camera. It may be, it could be a range of things, but just know the real reason you're waiting to do it has nothing to do with the equipment, has nothing to do with it not being the right time. It's you getting in your way. So what is it going to take for you to go ahead and do it? What's really stopping you? I challenge you to ask yourself that question and see what you come up with, because me and you both know it's not your camera quality, it's not where you live, it's none of that, because it takes nothing to pick up a camera and speak to it. You don't need to be in a fancy place to do that. Have a couch and a bookcase, right? You don't need. You can do it in your car. You could be out. You could be outside. You could. There are so many places that you could record the content that you're supposed to be recording. And why do I know this? Because I've been where you're at. I've been there. I've been there where I just never had the time to do the things that I knew I was supposed to be doing, aka starting this YouTube channel. I should have started this YouTube channel a long time ago, but I miraculously just ran out of time every day. I didn't have time to do it. I was too busy doing other things, right? I was too busy hanging out with friends and procrastinating and just doing everything else except going ahead and doing it and making the plan. So one day I sat down with myself and I said, self, why are you not doing this? And you know what conclusion I came to? Self-sabotage. I was sabotaging myself. I was running from the thing that I was meant to do. And then eventually I got tired of running. So are you waiting until the moment that you get tired of running? Are you self-sabotaging? Like, what is it? What is the reason you have not picked up this camera and done the thing that you're supposed to do? You gotta really be real with yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else says to you. It doesn't matter how much someone tells you that you need to do it. You gotta believe in yourself and want it for yourself to go ahead and do it. Because at the rate you're going, it's going to be months or years before you get around to it. Because who's to say that you don't get that new phone for another year? Who's to say you don't get the place you want for another few months? You get what I'm saying? Who's to say you won't stop self-sabotaging for another 2 years? If you keep waiting on these outside forces that have literally nothing to do with the reason you won't start this, then you're operating on those outside forces' time. You're not operating on your own time. You're operating on these bad habits that you have. I know, I'm keeping it real with you. I had to have the same conversation with myself. Okay, so you're not alone. You're not alone in this. And I know that fighting past whatever is keeping you in the place of not doing it is not easy. I'm not saying that by tomorrow you're going to be like, okay, I'm ready to do this, but you gotta map out some steps to help you get there. At least try. At least look at yourself and say, okay, so I need to do X, Y, Z to really get started doing this. Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's sitting down and writing down your thoughts, and maybe it's journaling and writing down why you haven't started the thing. But you just need to do whatever it takes to go ahead and get started. The perfect time doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So if you keep waiting on this unrealistic place, you're never going to do it. Ever. And so from here, what I want you to do is go through a series of questions. Start with 1, why haven't I started this? 2, what can I do to start it? 3, what's going to make me stick to it once I start? 4, what if this works out? So let's just briefly go through these questions together. The first one being, why haven't you started it? And I want you to write this down on a piece of paper and really list the reasons you haven't started this. And be real with yourself. Be 100% real with yourself. It could be that you're fearful. It could be that you are pushing past you're trying to build your confidence. It could be whatever it is. Just write it down and then read it after. But be honest. Okay, so now we're on number 2. What can you do to start this? It could be giving yourself more positive affirmations. It could be blocking out time every day to commit 15 minutes a day to do it. It could be watching more encouraging videos to help you get there. I'm telling you, make it plain so that you have a clear course of action so that you can get this done, right? Okay, number 3. What can you do to stick to it once you finally start to do this, right? Because it's unrealistic to think, okay, you get to the point where you're going to do it and then suddenly you just have all this motivation to stick to it. That's unrealistic. I've been there. I've tried that. You fail and you stop doing it every single time. So it could be the goal you have in mind from this, right? Because you really enjoy doing this thing. It could be your why, the why behind the reason that you have decided to do this. It could be a story behind it. It could be you could have a very compelling story that pushes you to get up every day and do this, right? Whatever that is, write that down on a sheet of paper, whatever you're using to make a note of all this. And finally, number 4, which is, what if this works out? Sometimes we don't start things because we're too focused on the negative, which is, what if it doesn't work out? What if you shifted that and you told yourself it's going to work out? That's enough right there to want to do something, right? Because you're not focused on what can go wrong. You're focused on what can go right. Right? So write down all the positives of doing this. And use that to be your strength to push you to do this. Okay, so take these questions and go do your homework. Yes, I'm giving you homework. But really, bet on yourself. You deserve the best. You deserve to fulfill your purpose. You deserve to go ahead and just do this thing. And I promise once you start doing it, you realize, well, dang, this is not as bad as I was making it seem. I should have done this sooner. You know how I know that? Me. You're looking at someone who had to go through all of these questions and get to this point, right? So do not cheat yourself. Don't let yourself down. You can do this. Take these questions and have a sit down with self to get yourself there. Well, that's all for today's video. I'll see you in the next video. If you found this useful, or you know someone who can find it useful, share it. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, because I have more content like this coming. And see you next time.